When the supplier has collected a full container load, dried it down to under 12% moisture, and packed in food-grade polypropylene bags, the cargo is trucked to a warehouse in the port of dispatch. Supplier must ensure that this truck is clean and the cargo is well protected against rain, dust, and theft. When the truck arrives at the warehouse, bags are unloaded and weighed. This is done using calibrated weighing equipment and registered on a tally sheet. Once tallying is complete, the cargo is stored in a dry and clean environment on pallets, and the supplier is given a warehouse receipt. A copy of the warehouse receipt is sent to the overseas customer. The warehouse manager invites the inspecting company to check the cargo. The inspector takes pictures of the cargo on pallets, of the individual bags, and the label. Then he takes a representative sample of the cargo. This is done by randomly stitching a number of bags. This number is calculated as a square root of the total number of bags plus 1. For example, a 6,000 kg cargo contains 240 bags. The square root of 240 is 15.5, so that can be approximated to 16 or 17 bags that have to be stitched randomly. Each subsample is approximately 100 grams. The sample volume of over 1.5 kg is homogenized. The homogenized sample will be tested for moisture content, and the outcomes are noted on a technical sheet, which will be shared with both the supplier and the customer. When the Incoterm of the purchase contract is on a delivery at place or DAP condition, the technical sheet, together with the warehouse receipt, provides sufficient evidence to customer to reliably pay the agreed proportion of the invoice to the supplier. A 500 gram of the sample is couriered to the customer for detailed analysis of parameters by an EU-accredited laboratory. We call this a pre-shipment sample. Once the customer has approved the pre-shipment sample, the warehouse can proceed with preparing the cargo for shipment. In case of conventional spices, the cargo is fumigated in the warehouse, preferably with phostoxin, after which a fumigation certificate can be issued. For organic spices, fumigation is not allowed. Hygiene treatment will be carried out at destination. A container is called off from the freight forwarding company. Once this container arrives, the warehouse officer inspects it for cleanliness and dryness. Then the walls and ceiling is covered with corrugated carton and moisture catchers are placed. Next, the inspector is invited to monitor the loading process. The container is inspected for cleanliness, dry condition, and other precautions. Pictures are taken of the whole process. Bags are stored neatly. No pallets are allowed because these could carry insects or moistures. Inspector confirms the number of bags and the weight loaded and signs customer checklist. Finally, the container is sealed and prepared for dispatch to the port area. As for documentation, the supplier must provide the export license, the certificate of origin, and 3 invoices, DAP basis. The warehouse office will provide the packing list, the phytosanitary certificate, and for conventional spices, the certificate of fumigation. Once the container has been put on board ship, the bill of lading will be issued. The International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, has introduced 11 Incoterms, which define who is responsible for documentation, shipping cost, insurance, and risk associated with a sales contract. The Incoterms are updated every 10 years. For spice export overseas, 4 Incoterms are relevant to suppliers and buyers. DAP, delivery at place. The supplier delivers cargo at a local warehouse and the buyer pays against a warehouse receipt. CFR, cost and freight. The supplier pays for the transport and the buyer must insure the goods. CIF, cost, insurance, freight. The supplier pays for freight and insurance. FOB, free on board. Buyer pays for transport and insurance. When the Incoterm of the purchase contract is on a free on board or FOB condition, the original bill of lading provides sufficient evidence to customer that the cargo is on board. The set of original documents must be couriered to the customer or to his bank. This condition is called cash against documents and gives both sides confidence to pay and receive agreed proportion of the invoice. In the bill of lading, supplier is called shipper and customer is called consignee. The shipper must inform consignee of the estimated time of arrival in the port of destination. Upon arrival, the cargo can be inspected and the balance of the invoice will be paid by the customer. Once the container has been custom cleared in the port of dispatch, it is trucked to the destination warehouse. There, the seal is broken and the cargo will be unloaded and inspected. The warehouse officer checks the labels, counts the number of bags, and calculates the gross weight at destination. The warehouse takes random samples for analysis by an accredited local laboratory. Then, the cargo will be stored in a clean, dry warehouse on pallets.